Chapter 21. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Uchiha Shisui saw many teaching Itachi. He frowned and walked towards the two of them. Long time no see. Many, Itachi. Uchiha Shisui came in front of the two, suppressing the impatience in his heart. He pretended to be calm and greeted them. Uchiha nodded calmly. Although he was disgusted by Uchiha Shisui's attitude towards the third Hokage, Uchiha Shisui was still a member of the Uchiha clan and his descendant. If he was willing to change his attitude towards the third Hokage, Uchiha Manye might treat him the same as Itachi. But unfortunately, Uchiha Shisui, his path will eventually be different. Shisui. Uchiha Itachi greeted him happily. Although Itachi did not agree with the will that Uchiha Shisui had instilled in him because of Uchiha Manye, the relationship between the two of them was still very close. Itachi, your swordsmanship is really good. Uchiha Shisui gave him another thumbs up, he praised. It's still very bad. Uchiha Shisui, what are you doing recently? Uchiha Itachi first replied modestly, then he casually asked Uchiha Shisui. Nothing much, I'll just rest in Konoha for the next few days. That's good. By the way, Itachi, can you step aside for a moment? I have some personal matters to discuss with Manye. Uchiha Shisui said very embarrassedly. After hearing this, Uchiha Itachi did not respond immediately. Instead, he turned to look at Uchiha Manye. After Manye nodded slightly, he turned to Uchiha Shisui and replied. Okay. Uchiha Itachi took the wooden sword from Manye and stepped aside unhurriedly. He knew that brother Shisui and his uncle had something to discuss. Do you want to see me for something? Uchiha Manye asked calmly. Uchiha Shisui had always been at odds with him. Normally, he would not even want to see him. He came to see him today. It must be someone's idea. Manye, weren't you a little too radical when dealing with Sarutobi Asuma's matter a few days ago? Uchiha Shisui asked seriously. He now knew why the Sandaime Hokage asked him to investigate Uchiha Manye. The only thing that the Sandaime Hokage and Uchiha Manye had been involved in recently was the incident of the Hokage's son being beaten up a few days ago. The instigator of this incident was Uchiha Manye. And the Sandaime Hokage happened to ask him to investigate Uchiha Manye. Obviously, this was not difficult to guess. Too radical. How did you say that you did it in a radical way? Uchiha Manye sneered and asked back. If you do this, you will harm yourself and the entire Uchiha family. Uchiha Shisui looked at Manye's posture. He frowned and said worriedly, although he puts the interests of the village first, it does not mean that he will not think about his family. Humph. The Uchiha clan has fallen to such a state now, are they afraid of even a little kid? Uchiha Manye smiled coldly. He asked angrily. You. Uchiha Shisui was choked by these words. His face turned pale for a moment. He was speechless. He could not find any reason to refute Uchiha Manye. Sarutobi Asuma was just a chunin. He dared to humiliate the Uchiha clan like this. If he was not the son of the Hokage, Uchiha Shisui also felt that there was nothing wrong with what Manye did, but no matter what. Sarutobi Asuma is still the son of the Hokage. Uchiha Shisui felt that what Manye did was a bit too much. He reprimanded without making any sense. You are simply unreasonable. Humph. Uchiha Manye looked at Uchiha Shisui's loyal face and snorted coldly. A hint of murderous intent rose in his heart towards Uchiha Shisui, but on the surface, he remained calm. Uchiha Manye had already blacklisted Uchiha Shisui in his heart. As long as Uchiha Shisui betrayed the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Manye would definitely destroy him with thunder and lightning. Uchiha Manye said nothing. For a moment, Uchiha Shisui didn't know how to start. The two of them stared at each other. The atmosphere on the field gradually became heavy. At this time, Uchiha Itachi realized that something was wrong. He quickly walked between the two and advised. Uncle, Uchiha Shisui, don't do this. Seeing Uchiha Manye and Uchiha Shisui quarreling, Uchiha Itachi was a little lost. On one side was his uncle who had taken care of him since he was a child. On the other side was Uchiha Shisui, who was like his own brother. He really didn't want to see the two of them clashing. Ha! The Uchiha clan will never bow to anyone. Uchiha Manye stared at Uchiha Shisui and sneered. He spoke word by word, then he said to Itachi. Itachi, let's stop here for today's training. After saying that, Uchiha Manye turned and left. Uchiha Manye no longer wanted to say anything. Uchiha Shisui looked at Manye's departing back, his face gradually darkened, he could not help but clench his fists, the dark pupils in his eyes instantly turned blood red, 3 black magatama were spinning rapidly in his pupils, the pupils suddenly turned into a pattern like a small shuriken, it was the Mangekyo Sharingan, the pupils were still spinning rapidly. Shisui, what's wrong with you? Uchiha Itachi saw Uchiha Shisui's strange eyes and asked in shock, he had never seen anyone in the clan with such a Sharingan. After hearing Itachi's call, Uchiha Shisui's blood-red eyes that kept turning in his eye sockets suddenly stopped and finally turned into the original black pupils. Uchiha Shisui breathed a sigh of relief. Actually, Uchiha Shisui wanted to use Konoha on Uchiha Manye just now, but Konoha is too important to him, it can only be used once every 10 years, it cannot be used easily, if Uchiha Manye reaches an uncontrollable point. Uchiha Shisui will definitely use Konoha without hesitation, but now Uchiha Manye is just an elite chunin who has just submitted an application for jonin. It is not worth wasting Konoha, which is used once every 10 years, on him. After saying hello to Uchiha Itachi, Uchiha Shisui also left. Seeing this, Uchiha Itachi also returned to his home. At midnight, Uchiha Shisui came to the Hokage building again and met the Sandaime Hokage again. Hokage-sama, this is what happened. Uchiha Shisui said respectfully, he just told the third Hokage everything that happened yesterday without reservation. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded his forehead gently. He did not speak for the time being, he combined the narration of Uchiha Shisui just now with the information of Uchiha Manye investigated by the yesterday, he believed it for 80% of the time. Well, if there is a chance, try to test Uchiha Manye's true strength. Sarutobi Hiruzen said to Uchiha Shisui kindly, Uchiha Manye is too dangerous in terms of thinking, he actually wants to induce a genius like Uchiha Itachi, and force him to instill his own thoughts. If this person still has great strength, this threat to him is really too great. Uchiha Shisui, please step back, Sarutobi Hiruzen said kindly. Yes. Lord Hokage, Uchiha Shisui bowed respectfully and was about to turn around and leave, but was stopped by the third Hokage. Wait, Uchiha Shisui, Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly shouted to Uchiha Shisui who was about to leave. He picked up the thick stack of information on the desk and turned to the last page. There was a photo of Uchiha Manye and his request to apply for jonin. Then he picked up the pen on the desk and wrote in the blank space of Uchiha Manye's information, jonin assessment mission. Go to the land of lightning to destroy a base in Kumogakure, 11 reading every day, recharge 100 to get 500 VIP points. Chapter 22. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This time I will arrange a secret mission for you. During Uchiha Manye's jonin assessment, follow Uchiha Manye secretly and find out his real strength. Sarutobi Hiruzen said slowly to Uchiha Shisui, he always had a feeling in his heart, that is, Uchiha Manye is not as simple as it seems, if he doesn't investigate Uchiha Manye's affairs clearly, he will be unable to sleep or eat. As for why he arranged for Uchiha Shisui to go, it was when he was sorting out the information of the He found that the relationship between Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Manye was extremely discordant. Most likely, there would be no sheltering. What's more, Sarutobi Hiruzen is not without a backup plan. He will also arrange people to follow Uchiha Shisui. It can also be seen from this whether Uchiha Shisui is really so loyal to himself. Yes. Lord Hokage, Uchiha Shisui didn't think much and agreed without hesitation. Well, you go down first, Sarutobi Hiruzen waved his hand and said kindly. Okay, Lord Hokage, Uchiha Shisui bowed respectfully to Sarutobi Hiruzen and turned away again. This time he did not call him Uchiha Manye. Let's wait and see. Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly pressed down the photo of Uchiha Manye on the file with his palm. He said with a gloomy face, in a large secret base under Konoha, the dark base was filled with transparent jars emitting green light one after another. there were about hundreds of them, illuminating the entire base. In each jar, there was a looming figure. A closer look would reveal that each green jar contained a living person. This was creepy. At the entrance of this base, there were two. "Ashimaru, have you been doing too much recently?" An old man with a cane said gloomily to the feminine man in front of him. He. Wasn't all this instructed by Danzo-sama? Orochimaru stretched out his long tongue and licked his entire face. After laughing, he said to Shimura Danzo in a sinister tone. "Too many people have disappeared inexplicably around the village recently. You should be more restrained recently." Shimura Danzo reminded with a gloomy face. Recently, Sarutobi Hiruzen has convened a Hokage meeting to discuss the disappearance of people around the village. Although Shimura Danzo tried his best to guide the disappearance of the population to natural disasters and man-made disasters, the elders all believed that this matter was man-made. Shimura Danzo certainly knew who did it. Moreover, it was his instruction before this matter. Although Shimura Danzo supported Orochimaru's human experiments, if Orochimaru was still so ostentatious, it would not only kill himself, but also very likely implicate himself. How could Shimura Danzo sit still at this moment? "Lord Danzo, I got it. I'll pay attention to it later." Orochimaru sneered and said perfunctorily. He remembered the time when he and Danzo first started to cooperate in the research of would-release body. Danzo promised all the treaties at that time. Obviously, most of them were not fulfilled. Now he was restricting himself. If he didn't have such research, could the research of would-release cell be so fast? Then the two of them exchanged a few perfunctory words. Shimura Danzo left the underground base happily, and Orochimaru opened a green jar again. He took out the person inside. He put it heavily on the chopping board. He held some strange tools in his hand. The next day, Uchiha Manye left home early. Today, he did not train Uchiha Itachi as usual. Instead, he came to the Konoha guard department set up by the Uchiha clan, in a small office in the Konoha guard department. "Sign in." Uchiha Manye sat on the chair and said silently in his heart. "Congratulations to the host for obtaining the postpartum care for Sao's advanced knowledge." A mechanical system prompt sounded in Uchiha Manye's mind. As expected, Uchiha Manye couldn't help but shook his head when he heard the reward prompt in his mind. He sighed. He didn't know how many times he had signed into the Konoha guard department. When he signed in the first time, he was given a generous reward, but the rewards after that were getting smaller and smaller. Basically, it was useless knowledge like now. "Give up receiving it," Uchiha Manye said silently in his heart. If the host chooses to give up the reward, it will disappear in 10 seconds, and the host can claim it within 10 seconds. Another reminder sounded in his mind. Uchiha Manye ignored it. He leaned back in his chair and stretched his body. Knock, knock. 2 crisp knocks on the door sounded. "Come in." The door was opened immediately. A man in black clothes and a fox mask walked in. "Uchiha Manye, this is the Jonin assessment task assigned to you by the Hokage." The man walked up and handed the information book to Uchiha Manye, saying coldly. "I understand. You can go back first." Uchiha Manye put the information book on the table and said calmly. The man nodded and turned away. "It looks like a storm is brewing." Uchiha Manye whispered softly as he watched the back of the ANBU man leaving. He had already guessed that Sarutobi Hiruzen would definitely create many obstacles for him in this Jonin assessment. After all, he had offended him so much before. However, Uchiha Manye was not afraid at all. It was just a matter of fighting back, this time. Uchiha Manye had to complete the Jonin assessment mission. This was his first step to establish his authority in the clan. He had been hiding himself in the past few years to prevent himself from attracting attention. The Uchiha clan's impression of Uchiha Manye was just a genius they saw once every few years. He had to re-establish his image in the Uchiha clan. Only in this way could he proceed with his next plan. Uchiha Manye was not in a hurry to open the task information book in his hand. Instead, he left the Konoha guard department first. He first found Hitaki Sakumo. He asked him to wait for him in Konoha. Then he came to the ninja tool shop alone. He bought a refined long sword with a sheath. Then he returned to his home slowly. He checked the task information book in his hand. 11 reading every day. Top up 100 and get 500 VIP points. Chapter 23. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next day, early morning, at Uchiha Fuchio's house. Brother, are you really going to the land of thunder to carry out a mission? This is really very dangerous. Uchiha Fugaku looked at Many in front of him with a melancholy face. He asked worriedly. Just now, Uchiha Manye had explained the situation of this mission to Uchiha Fugaku. At that time, after listening to it, Uchiha Fugaku expressed his absolute disagreement, because the difficulty of Uchiha Manye's Jonin assessment mission this time is extremely high. He actually went directly to other big countries to destroy other people's bases. This is a very dangerous thing. You must know that it is a truce period now, and you are now going to other countries alone to destroy bases. Although the combat power of that base is not high, the difficulty is not destroying the base itself, but once you succeed, you basically stand on the heads of other countries to establish your prestige. Others will definitely do their best to annihilate you, because once you return to your country, when others mention your name, they will think of you attacking a certain country's base alone in the past. This is intolerable for any country. What's more, Uchiha Manye is going to the country of thunder, which has a high combat power this time, so Uchiha Fugaku disagreed with Many going to complete this Jonin assessment. Brother, I have made up my mind. I must go on this trip to the land of lightning. Uchiha Manye said resolutely. Although he was very touched by his elder brother's concern, he was now fully grown and had to take the first step forward. Alas! This time it was clearly the old man Sarutobi's plan. Why did you insist on going? I don't believe you can't see it. Uchiha Fugaku helplessly explained the matter. With his IQ, he could have figured it out. This time Uchiha Manye's assessment was related to the humiliation of Sarutobi Hiruzen's son a few days ago. He didn't believe that his little brother, who was as smart as a demon, couldn't understand such a simple thing. He actually insisted on listening to the words of the Sandaime Hokage and going to the land of lightning to destroy the base. What's the difference between this and seeking death? Brother, you know me well. If I am not sure, will I accept this Jonin assessment mission? Uchiha Manye pondered for a moment, then he said earnestly. He had thought about it before he came. His elder brother must be the biggest stumbling block on the road to accepting the mission, but he still underestimated his elder brother's obstruction to him. He has already delayed himself for more than an hour. But Uchiha Fugaku wanted to say something, but suddenly choked. He looked at Uchiha Manye in disbelief. Uchiha Manye's eyes had turned blood red. There were 3 black magatama and his pupils spinning rapidly, then they spun faster and faster. Finally, the pupils turned into a shuriken wrapped in a 6-pointed star. Little brother, this is the Mangekyo Sharingan. Uchiha Fugaku looked at Uchiha Manye's blood-red eyes and asked in disbelief. He recognized Uchiha Manye's eyes at this moment. They were the highest form of the Uchiha clan's eye technique, the Mangekyo Sharingan. He really didn't expect that his little brother actually hid so deeply and now actually opened the Mangekyo Sharingan. You know, he always thought that Uchiha Manye was an intelligent genius and not good at fighting, so whenever there was a battle, Uchiha Fugaku would try his best to stop him from going to the battlefield, although there were also reasons for favoring him, but this is because Uchiha Manye is not good at fighting. If Uchiha Manye is a fighting genius, Uchiha Fugaku will naturally know how to train him. He will not keep him in the tribe all the time. Instead, he will definitely let him go to the battlefield, because Uchiha Fugaku knows that if he stops him, his talent will definitely be buried. Although Uchiha Fugaku has always been fond of Uchiha Manye, but doting should not be spoiling. If Uchiha Manye is harmed because of his doting, he believes that his foster father will not rest in peace in the underworld. Uchiha Manye nodded carefully. He knew that if he didn't show some real ability this time, his elder brother would probably not let him go. It was worth showing off a little ability to make his elder brother feel at ease. Little brother, you actually opened the Mangekyo Sharingan. After receiving Manye's confirmation, Uchiha Fugaku couldn't help but exclaimed. Big brother, I'm sorry for hiding this from you all these years. Uchiha Manye said apologetically. Alas! Little brother, you have deceived me so badly. Uchiha Fugaku looked at Manye and smiled bitterly. Then Uchiha Fugaku waved his hand again. He said to Uchiha Manye in ecstasy. Stop talking about this. I really didn't expect you to have opened the Mangekyo Sharingan. Big brother, do you still agree that I should go to the land of lightning? Uchiha Manye asked with a chuckle. After Uchiha Manye's words, Uchiha Fugaku slowly raised his chin and began to ponder. With Uchiha Manye's current ability to open the Mangekyo Sharingan, he has now reached the minimum level of Kage. the land of lightning has just experienced a war, the combat troops must be extremely empty. And now there are only two little brats who have just stepped into the level of Kage with Uchiha Manye's reputation. Going to the land of lightning will definitely not be stopped by the whole country. If he is hunted down, at most he will send a Kage-level strongman, and Uchiha Manye, who has opened the Mangekyo Sharingan, can obviously escape easily. This mission is not very dangerous for Uchiha Manye. Thinking of this, Uchiha Fugaku said, "Okay, I agree to this, but you must be careful on the way there. If your life is in danger, you must give up the mission immediately." Since this matter is not a big threat to Uchiha Manye, Uchiha Fugaku can't stop it anymore. After all, Uchiha Manye's talent in fighting has been confirmed. If he stops it again, it will really harm him. "I know, big brother. I know my limits. Don't worry," Uchiha Manye assured immediately. "Let's go to the Hokage building." The old guy from the third generation is already impatient. Uchiha Fugaku waved his hand and told Uchiha Manye to leave. "Okay." After saying goodbye to Uchiha Fugaku, Uchiha Manye arranged the training schedule for the next few days with Itachi in the next room. Finally, he rushed to the Hokage building, 11 reading every day, recharge 100 to get 500 VIP points. Chapter 24. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Uchiha Manye walked on the streets of Konoha. Soon he arrived at the Hokage building. After letting the guard know, the guard took him to the Hokage's office. Dong dong. Uchiha Manye knocked on the wooden door twice. "Come in." An old voice came from inside the room. Uchiha Manye gently opened the door. At a glance, he saw the amiable Sarutobi Hiruzen sitting at the desk. "Hokage-sama," Uchiha Manye said calmly to Sarutobi Hiruzen. "Manye, you are here," Sarutobi Hiruzen said to Uchiha Manye kindly. If Uchiha Manye had not clearly seen the gleam in his eyes, he might have thought that he had a good relationship with him. "Well, I'm here to ask the Hokage to approve my Jonin assessment mission," Uchiha Manye said as he took out the mission information book and gently placed it on Sarutobi Hiruzen's desk. Good, it's a blessing for Konoha to have a rising star like you," Sarutobi Hiruzen said happily. He picked up the Hokage seal on the table and gently printed it on Uchiha Manye's mission information book. Then he picked up the information book and said to Uchiha Manye, "Manye, take it." Uchiha Manye responded coldly. He took the information book from Sarutobi Hiruzen and then said calmly, "Lord Hokage, I'm leaving first. Go down. Remember to be safe during the mission." Sarutobi Hiruzen looked amiable. He also reminded Uchiha Manye to be safe. If others saw this scene, they might think that an elder of a family was admonishing a younger generation of the family. Uchiha Manye certainly didn't think that. Sarutobi Hiruzen was really worried about him. His eyesight was enhanced by the Rinnegan. He was beyond ordinary people. He clearly saw the ruthlessness that flashed in Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes. "Okay," Uchiha Manye said perfunctorily. Then he turned and left the Hokage's office. After Uchiha Manye left, Sarutobi Hiruzen immediately asked the Umbu to notify Shimura Danzo to come see him. In just a moment, Shimura Danzo came to the Hokage's office. "Sarutobi, what is the matter with you looking for me?" Although Shimura Danzo was confused and even a little panicked in his heart, he still spoke calmly on the surface. After all, he was secretly doing human experiments with Orochimaru, and even began to capture living people from the land of fire for experiments. Although he did not hear his roots say that Sarutobi Hiruzen had learned something, but there was no guarantee that Sarutobi Hiruzen had some hidden tricks and had learned about what he and Orochimaru had done. "Shimura, I want you root to take action against a Chunin." Sarutobi Hiruzen did not notice the abnormality of Shimura Danzo. He quickly said to Shimura Danzo, although he felt that Uchiha Manye was impossible to come back alive from this mission, he was prepared for the worst. If Uchiha Manye came back from this mission by chance, the next opportunity to take action would not be so easy to find. Besides, Uchiha Manye had the Sharingan. If the Sharingan fell into the hands of the enemy, it would be a big bad thing for Konoha. After considering both sides, Sarutobi Hiruzen decided to arrange someone to ambush Uchiha Manye, and if Uchiha Manye died in the hands of the Cloud Ninja, he could also have someone destroy Uchiha Manye's eyes. "Who?" Shimura Danzo breathed a sigh of relief, then he asked in confusion. Uchiha Manye. Sarutobi Hiruzen spoke Manye's name word by word. Is he the Uchiha clan member who humiliated you a few days ago? After hearing the name, Shimura Danzo asked Sarutobi Hiruzen affirmatively. He had a profound influence on Uchiha Manye. Over the years, there were very few people who could make his old friend suffer. Not to mention the humiliation that Sarutobi Hiruzen suffered a few days ago. The son of the Hokage knelt down to the Uchiha clan in front of the whole village. TSK. Shimura Danzo couldn't help smacking his lips when he thought of this. That's right, this time he submitted the Jonin assessment. I arranged for him to go to the land of lightning to destroy the base. This time you just need to arrange people to ensure that he won't come back. Sarutobi Hiruzen said to Shimura Danzo with a serious face, a Uchiha clan member who felt so humiliated and had a strong ambition and was disobedient. Sarutobi Hiruzen really couldn't think of any reason to let him live. Okay, I agree. Shimura Danzo agreed without hesitation. He did not just want to help Sarutobi Hiruzen, he was thinking about Uchiha Manye's Sharingan. After all, Uchiha Manye is the cousin of the current Uchiha clan leader. The bloodline limit of the Sharingan must be very strong. Since he can get a favor from his old friend and get what he wants, why not do it? Okay, thank you for your help this time, Shimura. Go back and rest first. Well, I'll go back first. Shimura Danzo just turned around with his cane. A cold smile immediately appeared on his face, and after Shimura Danzo turned around, Sarutobi Hiruzen also showed a similar cold smile on his face. At this moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen thought in his heart. No matter how powerful your Uchiha clan is, as long as you go out on a mission, dying on the way is a normal death. At the huge front gate of Konoha, Uchiha Manye was wearing a black shirt that exposed his chest and a pair of black trousers. He had a Konoha forehead guard on his arm and a long sword hanging from his waist. He was chatting with the three people in front of him. Okay, big brother, Itachi, sister-in-law, I'm leaving. Uchiha Manye said goodbye to him for the last time and turned to walk towards the gate. You must pay attention to safety along the way. The three of them reminded Uchiha Manye worriedly. Got it. Uchiha Manye didn't look back, he just raised his right hand and waved it gently. He continued to walk out of the door. Fuchio, how can you let Manye leave this time? You know, he was. Uchiha Mikoto didn't make her words clear because Itachi was here, but she knew her husband must know what she meant. Don't worry, there will be no problem with my little brother this time. Uchiha Fuchio stared at Uchiha Manye's figure walking away. He comforted Uchiha Mikoto. Really? Uchiha Mikoto looked at Fuchio in surprise, then she also looked at Uchiha Manye's receding back. Uchiha Itachi did not interrupt. He just looked at Uchiha Manye's receding figure thoughtfully. Gradually, Uchiha Manye's back disappeared from their sight. 11 reading is fun every day. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Chapter 25. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After bypassing the Sound Village and the Frost Village, Uchiha Manye finally entered the territory of the Land of Lightning. It seems that the old thief Sarutobi Hiruzen still doesn't dare to do it too obviously. Uchiha Manye took out the map that his elder brother had marked for him. After determining that the mission base was at the border of the Land of Lightning, he whispered to himself. At first, he thought that Sarutobi Hiruzen would assign him a mission in the core location of the Land of Lightning. The only reason he didn't think that Sarutobi Hiruzen would arrange his mission target at the border was that he didn't consider at the beginning whether Sarutobi Hiruzen would feel that he was chosen to give up because of the difficulty of the mission. However, I'm afraid this matter is not that simple. After Uchiha Manye looked at the base map, he gently folded it up and put it in his arms, then he turned his head to block a glance at the silent jungle behind him. He had sensed on the way here that there was a familiar person who had been following him. Shisui. I hope you don't do anything stupid, otherwise I can only. A fierce light flashed in Uchiha Manye's eyes. He had made a decision in his heart. As long as Uchiha Shisui caused trouble to him in this mission, he would definitely not care about the feelings of his fellow tribesmen. Then Uchiha Manye set off and rushed to the place marked on the map. Not long after Uchiha Manye left, a young man carrying a katana slowly walked out of the jungle behind Uchiha Manye. Did I just say I was discovered? Uchiha Shisui thought of many just looking at his hiding place. He couldn't help but think. It seems that I have to pay attention to my position with many in the future. Uchiha Shisui has already decided, no matter whether many has discovered him or not, he must keep a certain distance from Uchiha Manye in the future. Uchiha Shisui stayed in the same place for a while before chasing in the direction where Uchiha Manye left. Outside a small village. This should be the location of the base. Uchiha Manye took out the base map in his arms and carefully compared the marked location. He confirmed that the place in front of him was the target of his mission. His mission was to destroy the base in front of him and obtain a scroll of intelligence they had stored. Observation Haki. Uchiha Manye instantly activated his observation Haki. He explored the area within a radius of 2 kilometers. In addition to discovering 15 auras in the village, he did not find any other auras. It seems that Shisui has been alerted. This is good. Let's end the battle as soon as possible. Uchiha Manye instantly opened the Nine-magatama Samsara Eye. He rushed straight to the village in front. There was no cover along the way. The 2 cloud ninjas standing at the entrance of the village immediately found Uchiha Manye. Who is it? The 2 Kumo ninjas drew their kunai in an instant and shouted at Uchiha Manye, but Uchiha Manye ignored them and rushed towards the 2 Kumo ninjas. Seeing this, one of the 2 Kumo ninjas rushed towards Uchiha Manye and the other pulled the village alarm. Ring, 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 ring. A burst of urgent alarm bells suddenly rang in the village. Uchiha Manye looked at the cloud ninjas rushing towards him. Swish. He instantly drew out the long sword from his waist and rushed towards the cloud ninja at a faster speed. Damn Konoha ninja. After seeing the forehead protector on Uchiha Manye's shoulder, the cloud ninja was furious and shouted. The kunai in his hand was instantly covered with blue chakra. There was a faint arc of electricity wrapped around it. He rushed towards Uchiha Manye with all his strength. Seeing this, Uchiha Manye's face remained calm. Only a little bit of condensed chakra appeared on the blade of the long sword in his hand. Soon, the two met each other. Uchiha instantly swung the long sword in his hand towards his neck. So fast! The cloud ninja exclaimed when he saw Uchiha Manye's action. Then he quickly blocked the long sword's sliding path with the kunai covered with blue energy. The kunai and the long sword touched for a moment. Blocked. Yunren thought happily in his heart. Bang! A harsh sound rang out. The kunai in the cloud ninja's hand was instantly cut into 2 pieces. The long sword did not stop for a moment. Uchiha Manye passed over the cloud ninja's body and came behind him. There was still a trace of blood on the blade. Bang! The head of the cloud ninja fell off. A large amount of blood gushed out from the broken neck. Uchiha Manye did not stop at all. He continued to rush towards the other person at the entrance of the village. Damn it, Cloud! After seeing the miserable state of his companion, another cloud ninja shouted in anger and began to make seals with his hands. Thunder escape, thunderball technique. A blue energy ball filled with arcs appeared in his hand. Chiyu! The lightning ball in his hand was instantly thrown at the Uchiha Manye who was rushing towards him. Uchiha Manye, who was running, looked at the lightning ball coming towards him. He rushed towards the lightning ball without dodging, when the lightning ball was about to collide with him. One of the 6 paths, the hungry ghost path. Uchiha suddenly stretched out his left hand and grabbed the lightning ball. The lightning ball shrank rapidly in Uchiha Manye's palm. It disappeared in the blink of an eye. This is the ability of the Nine-magatama Samsara Eye's primary 6 paths. The hungry ghost path can absorb the chakra of any ninjutsu. What is this? The cloud ninja saw his ninjutsu being absorbed by Uchiha Manye's hand. He said in horror. He had never seen a ninjutsu being absorbed by someone. You, don't come over here. The cloud ninja looked at Uchiha Manye who was getting closer and closer to him. The fear in his eyes became even more intense. He stepped back again and again, and said intermittently. Uchiha Manye did not stop for a moment because of his words. Instead, he rushed towards the cloud ninja faster. Lightning escape, ground escape. Suddenly, a large area of blue electric arc appeared on the ground. And it attacked Uchiha Manye from all directions at an extremely fast speed. Shinra Tensei. Uchiha Manye stretched out his palm in front of him. It was as if a barrier suddenly appeared around Uchiha Manye. It instantly bounced back the thunder that was attacking him from the ground. Who are you? A sturdy cloud ninja on the left asked Uchiha Manye angrily. behind him stood 13 cloud ninjas of different statures. They were all the ninjas in this stronghold. Uchiha Manye did not reply. Tianin Wanxiang, he suddenly stretched out his hand and grabbed the retreating Kumo ninja. The Kumo ninja seemed to be pulled by an invisible force and quickly flew backwards towards Uchiha Manye. Help me! That the cloud ninja felt his body suddenly out of control, his teammates shouted in horror. Damn it! Stop it now! That the leading cloud ninja shouted at Uchiha Manye. But, Uchiha Manye ignored him. The cloud ninja being pulled by Wanxiang Tianin had been pulled in front of Manye. Uchiha Manye did not hesitate at all, he swung his sword instantly. Kacha! That the man in front of Uchiha Manye was cut in half in an instant. Shinra Tensei! Uchiha Manye suddenly raised his hand and used Shinra Tensei. The blood and 2 pieces of flesh in front of him were instantly bounced away. Damn it! That the 13 cloud ninjas saw their companions being killed in front of their eyes, they could no longer bear it. They all prepared to rush towards Uchiha Manye. You came just in time. Uchiha Manye began to quickly form seals with both hands. Fire escape, great fire extinguishing. A huge flame spewed out from Uchiha Manye's mouth. The flame formed a sea of fire in the air. At an extremely fast speed, it blasted towards the group of cloud ninjas. Not good. Seeing the sea of fire coming towards them at a high speed, the cloud ninjas immediately cried out inwardly, not good. Chapter 26. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Water style team. The cloud ninja captain suddenly shouted to everyone. Water escape, water formation wall. 5 cloud ninjas stood up. Instantly, they formed a seal. Each of them spit out a long stream of water from their mouths. 5 large streams of water formed a blue wall made of water in front of the cloud ninjas, at the moment when the sea of fire and the water wall came into contact. No. Earth escape team. The cloud ninja leader saw this and secretly said that it was not good. He continued to shout. Immediately, another cloud ninja leader and 4 cloud ninjas quickly formed seals. Earth escape, earth flowing wall. The 5 cloud ninjas immediately stuck their arms into the ground. The ground behind the water wall began to rise rapidly. The 10-meter-long and wide earth wall suddenly stood up. Bang! The water wall was in contact with the sea of fire for only a moment, and then it was swept away by the sea of fire like a whirlwind. The sea of fire instantly hit the earth wall and instantly stalemated with the earth wall. It worked. The cloud ninjas said in great joy as they watched the sea of fire not spread. Suddenly, the sea of fire seemed to be strengthened. It immediately shattered the solid earth wall and instantly rushed towards the defenseless. Not good. The moment the earth wall was breached by the sea of fire, the leader of the cloud ninja shouted, not good. He was about to give orders, but in the blink of an eye, the sea of fire in the air had spread to them, instantly engulfing the 13 of them. The raging fire burned madly on the cloud ninja. Ah! 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 One scream after another kept coming from the sea of fire. After a while, Uchiha Manye gradually took down his hands that were in seals. The huge sea of fire in front began to dissipate gradually. 13 charred figures slowly emerged, except for the sturdy captain of the cloud ninja who was still kneeling on the ground. The other cloud ninjas had already fought to the end. Uchiha Manye saw this scene and walked towards them step by step. Although the cloud ninja captain still had some consciousness at this moment, his body could not move at all. The cloud ninja captain looked at Uchiha Manye with a look as if he was looking at a devil. His eyes were full of fear. Pa! 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 Uchiha Manye's footsteps rang out in the quiet village, and these footsteps were like the symphony before the harvest of the god of death to the current captain of the cloud ninja. Uchiha Manye slowly walked in front of the captain of the cloud ninja. You bastard, I'm not afraid of you. The captain of the cloud ninja looked at Uchiha Manye who came in front of him. He overcame the fear in his heart and shouted at Uchiha Manye with all his strength. The originally charred throat suddenly tore a crack, a touch of bright red appeared in it, but the body of the cloud ninja captain suddenly stood up. He punched Uchiha Manye hard but slowly. Uchiha Manye did not speak. He just shook his head lightly. His fingers gently touched the forehead of the cloud ninja. The movement of his body stopped instantly. The body fell backwards uncontrollably. Bang! The body of the Cloud Ninja captain fell heavily to the ground. Uchiha Manye did not use any force in that move, it was just a light push. However, the body of the Cloud Ninja was already exhausted. I hope you won't meet me in your next life. Uchiha Manye whispered to the dead Cloud Ninja at last. After Uchiha Manye came to this world, he had seen too many of his friends and clansmen die in a foreign country. So he didn't feel sorry for the Cloud Ninjas he killed. This was not the first time Uchiha Manye killed someone. To be promoted to an elite chunin, he had naturally handled many tasks for Konoha, including some tasks of killing. Then Uchiha Manye slowly rushed from the center of the village to. This should be it. Uchiha Manye came to the center of the village. There was a square wooden house of medium size, he said with certainty. Just now, when Uchiha Manye used his observation haki to investigate, he found that the 13 Cloud Ninjas basically stayed near this location. Obviously, this place is most likely the place where the intelligence scroll is stored. Uchiha Manye gently opened the door and walked into the square wooden house, but he found that there was nothing in the wooden house. Humph! Uchiha Manye, who possessed the Nine-magatama Samsara Eye, instantly discovered a few raised wooden boards on the ground. Uchiha Manye walked over and suddenly stepped on the raised wooden boards. Crack! The thick wooden board on the ground was broken instantly. There was indeed a long hole below. Uchiha Manye moved away. He stretched out his right hand with his palm facing down and 5 fingers pointing downward. Wanxiang Tianin, a light blue scroll with carved patterns was immediately sucked into Uchiha Manye's hand. It looks like it's done. Uchiha Manye glanced at the scroll in his hand and said calmly, then he slowly walked out of the wooden house with the scroll. Suddenly, several mouse-shaped dark blue flames appeared in the sky and swept towards Uchiha Manye who had just stepped out of the door. This is it. Uchiha Manye saw the blue flames coming towards him, he subconsciously stepped on the ground. Chiu! Uchiha Manye dodged the attack of the blue flame, but when the blue flame was about to attack the wooden house, it suddenly made a 90-degree turn and attacked Uchiha Manye again. Can you still track me? Uchiha Manye said with a frown as he looked at the blue flames that were flying towards him. He then quickly raised his other free hand. Shinra Tensei, an invisible wall instantly extinguished the blue flames that were sweeping towards him. Who is it? Uchiha Manye fixed his eyes on the place where his observation haki was sensed. He had long straight beige hair, which was tied into a long braid that reached his waist. He had a pair of big phoenix eyes. He was wearing a patterned shirt and a Cloud Ninja forehead protector. The queen-like woman was pointing her 10 fingers at him and looking at him angrily. Who are you? Uchiha Manye looked at the beautiful woman in front of him and asked with a puzzled look. Although Uchiha Manye felt that the woman in front of him was somewhat familiar, as if he had seen her somewhere before, he could not figure out who this yellow-haired woman in front of him was for a while. Cloud hidden, by the wooden man, I beg for flowers and comments, I really beg for them. Chapter 27. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yumijin. Uchiha Manye heard the woman's self-introduction. He immediately remembered who this person was. Isn't this person one of the only 2 Jinchuriki in the Land of Lightning, the Jinchuriki of the two-tailed Matatabi? How could the two-tailed beast be here? Uchiha Manye looked at Yukido's delicate face and asked in confusion. He immediately displayed a strong observation haki. After exploring the location within a radius of 5 kilometers, he detected several hidden auras. Humph, so he is from Konoha. Sarutobi old dog, are you playing dirty tricks? Uchiha Manye felt a few familiar auras and couldn't help but sneer in his heart. He looked at the two-tailed Yukido in front of him, it was theirs. Who are you? Two-tailed Yukido stared at Manye coldly and asked angrily in a delicate voice. She was patrolling nearby, but suddenly found several Konoha ninjas sneaking in front of her. She immediately showed her power and began to chase these ninjas. After these ninjas found out that she was tracking them, they quickly began to flee. Because of their excellent hiding skills, Yukido did not catch them for a while. When she was about to chase them, Yukido happened to see the miserable situation at the entrance of the stronghold. Yukido did not care about chasing those ninjas, and rushed into the village in anger. She happened to run into Uchiha Manye who was taking out the scroll. Yukido immediately attacked Uchiha Manye, a few kilometers from the village, in a jungle. It was a close call, a close call. Several masked men in black said with fear while panting. They were the ninjas sent by Shimura Danzo to attack Uchiha Manye. they set out a day in advance and ambushed near the village. By chance, they met the two-tailed Yakido who was patrolling here. Several ninjas from the route recognized him immediately. He was one of the perfect Jinchuriki of the Land of Lightning. They fled without hesitation. Several people thought they would die today, but they didn't expect that Uchiha Manye would solve the Kyumo ninja base so quickly and attract the two-tailed Yakido over. I didn't expect that Uchiha Manye was so powerful that he destroyed the stronghold so quickly. A root ninja said in surprise. They had just seen the tragic situation of the village. Naturally, they guessed that it was Uchiha Manye who did it. It seems that this Uchiha Manye has great ambitions and has hidden so much strength. Another root ninja reminded the others. If Uchiha Manye hadn't destroyed the base so quickly today, I'm afraid we would have died here. Another root ninja said in fear. We really did something great this time. Ha ha ha. A root ninja suddenly laughed to everyone. Is this a good thing? Several root ninjas asked in unison. Think about it, the mission given to us by Danzo-sama is to kill Uchiha Manye who is still alive. Uchiha Manye has such strong strength that he will definitely not be killed easily by us, and it is very likely that he will escape. And we also have to take the risk of casualties, but now by coincidence we have lured the two tails over. No matter how powerful Uchiha Manye is, can he defeat the tailed beast? You say we did a great thing, the root ninja explained with a big laugh. That's it, everyone suddenly realized. However, the mission given to us by Danzo-sama is to seize Uchiha Manye's eyes. Are we going to leave now and give up the mission? A root ninja reminded them at an inopportune time. Several people suddenly fell silent. They were trained by Shimura Danzo since they were young. If they failed to complete Danzo-sama's mission, their lives would be meaningless. First observe secretly, wait for the opportunity, and seize Uchiha Manye's eyes. After a ninja proposed, it was agreed by several people. A group of people rushed to the village where Uchiha Manye and the two-tailed wooden man were. Uchiha Manye. Uchiha Manye replied calmly. Uchiha. Two-tailed Yakido's pupils couldn't help but dilate when she heard the name of Uchiha Manye. She naturally knew a little about the famous Uchiha clan in the ninja world. Why did you kill these Kyumo ninjas? Two-tailed Yakido asked angrily. Ha! It's just a mission. Uchiha Manye sneered and said lightly. Damn it! A dark blue flame suddenly appeared on the body of the wooden man. A blue flame tail grew out from his back. His hair, which had been tied up, spread out. His hands and feet were wrapped in dark blue flames and turned into claws. The wooden man slowly lay on the ground. Cat. It's very pretty. Uchiha Manye was not in a hurry. He began to appreciate the beauty of the two-tailed Yakido. Chiyu. The two-tailed wooden figure suddenly jumped up from the ground and flew towards Uchiha Manye, leaving a blue trail in the sky. Hee. Uchiha Manye looked at the Yakido who was attacking her. She was not panicked at all. She chuckled twice and looked at her calmly. In the blink of an eye, the two-tailed Yakido came to the sky above Uchiha Manye. The two-tailed Yakido instantly used his flaming cat claws to fiercely grab Uchiha Manye on the ground. Seeing this, Uchiha Manye stomped his feet suddenly. His body instantly flew backwards. Bang! 0.5 deep scratches were left on the ground. The two-tailed Yakido saw that his attack had failed. He did not stop for a moment. He jumped up from the ground again and chased after Uchiha Manye. In an instant, he came in front of Uchiha Manye again and swung out his flaming cat claws again, but Uchiha Manye did not dodge this time. Uchiha Manye's figure flashed. Suddenly, one hand hugged the two-tailed Yakido and threw him out heavily. It's quite soft and big. Uchiha Manye looked at his arm that he had just used force on. He turned his head and looked at the two-tailed Yakido that was spinning in the sky. He couldn't help but sigh. The two-tailed Yakido quickly adjusted its shape in the sky. All four limbs were facing down, and it landed steadily on the ground. You bastard! The two-tailed Yakido felt his sensitivity. He angrily shouted at Uchiha Manye. Chapter 28. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The two-tailed Yamakudo lying on the ground had a tail wrapped in blue flames growing out of its back. Blue chakra patterns appeared on its body. Its hair was slightly curled up. Its eyes gradually turned white. Two teeth were slightly exposed from the corners of its mouth. Bang! The two-tailed Yamakudo kicked the ground with both feet. His body shot towards Uchiha Manye like an arrow. Seeing this, Uchiha Manye's eyes narrowed slightly. He gently threw the scroll in his left hand towards the two-tailed Yumakudo. In an instant, the scroll came in front of the two-tailed Yumakudo. This is the intelligence scroll of Kumogaku. Two-tailed Yakido recognized it as the intelligence scroll of the Land of Lightning. She was slightly stunned in the air. She was thinking about what Uchiha Manye meant by throwing the scroll. Heavenly Power Hand. Uchiha Manye's figure flashed and disappeared from the spot. Instead, a scroll appeared at his original position. Two-tailed Yakido felt a flash in front of her eyes. She found that Uchiha Manye suddenly appeared in front of her. She was immediately startled. In the moment she hesitated, Uchiha Manye's palm had already attacked her head. Two-tailed Yakido just wanted to stretch out her hand to block it, but found that her body was too late. Bang! That a muffled groan sounded. The head of the two-tailed wooden man was hit. The body fell down instantly. Tianin Wanxiang. Uchiha Manye stretched out his hand. The scroll that was still falling in the air behind him seemed to be pulled by an invisible force. It flew towards Uchiha Manye at a high speed. Bang! The wooden man fell heavily to the ground, creating a shallow hole in the ground. A large cloud of dust rose in the air. Pa! At the same time, the scroll was caught steadily by Uchiha Manye. Uchiha Manye slowly fell from the sky. He looked at the two-tailed wooden man lying on the ground. Forget it, I don't want to kill a woman today. Uchiha Manye said to the wooden man on the ground. People have the nature of appreciating beauty. Now Uchiha Manye didn't want to see the beautiful scenery of the world die in his hands. After Uchiha Manye said this, he was ready to turn around and leave. Damn it, bastard! A large amount of blue pattern chakra suddenly appeared on the two-tailed wooden man on the ground. Groups of blue flames floated around her body. Uchiha Manye sensed Yakido's breath and turned around to see this scene. He was a little angry. The blue flame and pattern chakra wrapped the two-tailed Yakido tightly. Then Yakido's body began to expand continuously. 1 zhang, 5 zhang, 10 zhang. The two-tailed beast gradually transformed from a wooden figure into a cat demon that was several dozen feet tall and covered in blue chakra flames. Still want to resist? I don't want to play anymore. Uchiha Manye looked at the huge monster in front of him. His expression did not change at all. He said to the two-tailed beast in front of him calmly. Damn it! Two-tailed Matatabi roared at Uchiha Manye in a shrill voice. His four limbs stomped on the ground fiercely. Boom! 4 large pits were suddenly created on the relatively flat ground. Yumu run! Yumu run! Wait a minute! Just as Yumu Ren was about to launch an attack, a gentle voice suddenly came from his mind. What's wrong with Yolu? I'm going to crush this bastard to death. Wei Yumijin responded to Yolu in his mind. Yakido, this man is not simple. He has eyes similar to the Six Paths Sage. You should not fight him first, just run away first. Niwei Matatabi persuaded Yakido in his mind. Six Paths Sage. This man's eyes. How is this possible? After hearing what Yakido said, two-tailed Yakido couldn't help but look at Uchiha Manye's pupils. Her eyes were full of shock. She realized that Uchiha Manye's eyes were not Sharingan. She had fought with the Uchiha clan before. She had never seen an Uchiha clan member with the same eyes as Uchiha Manye. That's right, he hasn't used his true strength yet. Let's run away. You definitely can't beat him now. The voice of Nibi Matatabi once again rang in Yakido's mind. He hadn't used his true strength before. Is his strength so strong? Two-tailed Yomuri looked at Uchiha Manye with a look of fear. Let's go. Yumijin, Niwei Matatabi urged again. I'm sorry, I can't run away this time. He has killed so many of my comrades. If I don't even fight him with all my strength and run away in a hurry. I absolutely cannot accept this, Wei Yumu-ren replied firmly in his mind. You, the wooden man, Yellow Travel was speechless for a moment. Yolu, leave the last bit of chakra in my body that allows me to move, and then leave. This is all our fight, you shouldn't be involved in it. The two-tailed Yakido looked at Uchiha Manye with determination. He said to Yolu in his mind. Yakido, are you crazy? Two-tailed Matatabi said in disbelief in Yakido's mind. Tailed beasts can leave the Jinchuriki, but the Jinchuriki cannot leave the tailed beasts. Once the tailed beast leaves the Jinchuriki's body, regardless of whether it is voluntary or not, the Jinchuriki's vitality will be drained instantly. Yolu, thank you for all this time. I would not have come this far without you. After you leave, hide quietly, and don't get caught by people from the major countries, otherwise it will be very miserable. Niue Yumoto quickly reminded Niue Yolu in her mind. She thought of the fear she felt when she first met Yolu. The two slowly began to understand each other, they accepted each other's pain together. In the end, they became partners connected in life. With tears in her heart, Niue Yumoto finally said to Niue Yolu, I am so lucky to be Matatabi's Jinchuriki. Yakido, what are you talking about? Even if I am killed, I just need some time to revive. How can I let you fight here alone? The angry voice of Nibi Matatabi kept echoing in Yakido's mind. The blue pattern on the body of the demon cat Matatabi suddenly began to emit a strong light. The blue flames burning all over the body began to expand continuously. The body of Nibi Matatabi was expanded by 2 full circles. The 2 tails actually has such a powerful aura. Uchiha Manye was surprised when he saw the aura bursting out from Matatabi. He had once caught a glimpse of the 8 tails bursting out all its chakra. The aura of the 2 tails now is no less than that of the 8 tails at that time. Looking at the majestic 2 tails in front of him, Uchiha Manye first thought of his ancestor Uchiha Madara who captured the 2 tails, the 4 tails, and the 9 tails in the past. He couldn't help but wonder what kind of style that would be. He also thought that it was indeed a bit lonely to live alone in the house. If he captured Yakido, he would not only get a majestic 2 tails, but also put a beauty in his home to feast his eyes. This directly satisfied Uchiha Manye's 2 thoughts. At this moment, the aura of the 2 tails Matatabi has become extremely strong. Even the root ninjas 800 meters away and Uchiha Shisui 1300 meters away were frightened by this terrifying chakra. Chapter 29. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Black star-shaped energy began to appear in front of the mouth of the second tail Matatabi, and it kept condensing in front of the mouth. A black energy ball with various spots gradually condensed into tailed beast ball. Uchiha Manye looked at the energy ball condensed by the 2 tail curiously. He was not afraid at all. The black energy ball in front of the 2 tail could not stop expanding. In an instant, it turned into a huge energy ball of tens of meters. Roar! A huge black energy ball instantly shot towards Uchiha Manye. Seeing this, Uchiha Manye did not dodge at all. He still looked at the huge tailed beast ball that was attacking him calmly. In the blink of an eye, the tailed beast ball shot in front of Uchiha Manye. Uchiha Manye slowly raised his free palm to resist. The tailed beast ball instantly collided with Uchiha Manye's palm. Success! After seeing the tailed beast ball successfully hit Uchiha Manye, 2-tailed Ubiquito and 2-tailed Matatabi said to each other in their hearts. 2-tailed Matatabi stared at the tailed beast ball intently, waiting for the tailed beast ball to explode. However, the scene she imagined did not appear. The tailed beast ball began to shrink non-stop, getting smaller and smaller. Every time the tailed beast ball shrank a little, 2-tailed Matatabi's face became uglier. Gradually, the tailed beast ball completely disappeared. Uchiha Manye raised his palm unscathed, calmly watching 2-tailed Matatabi. How is it possible? 2-tailed Matatabi said in disbelief. Uchiha Manye did not give her time to react. He stomped on the ground and rushed towards 2-tailed Matatabi like a black lightning. As soon as 2-tailed Matatabi made a move, Uchiha Manye grabbed its front paw. Hungry Ghost Path. A white light instantly rose from Uchiha Manye's palm. The flames on the 2-tailed Matatabi began to decrease. Chakra is being absorbed. 2-tailed Yakido felt the sharp decrease in chakra and the weakness of his body. Looking at Uchiha Manye, he thought desperately. The blue flames emanating from the 2-tailed Matatabi gradually disappeared. His body also began to shrink. Gradually, he turned into a human form. He was held in the hand of Uchiha Manye. I let you go in the beginning. Uchiha Manye carried the transformed wooden man on his shoulders. Let me go, you bastard. 2-tailed Yakido came to his senses and saw that he was being held on the shoulders of Uchiha Manye in a shameful position. He urged the little chakra left in his body and used his fingers to pierce Uchiha Manye's eyes. Seeing this, Uchiha Manye immediately took his left hand with the scroll and quickly chopped at Yakido's neck. Bang! A muffled groan sounded. The eyes of the 2-tailed Yakido turned white instantly. He lost consciousness. His limbs limply collapsed on Uchiha Manye's shoulders. It's much quieter now. Uchiha Manye lifted the wooden figure up and held her body with one hand to prevent her from falling. Uchiha Manye closed the Nine-magatama Samsara Eye and walked out of the base with the scroll in one hand. Soon, Uchiha Manye walked to the entrance of the base. As soon as he walked out of the base, he was immediately discovered by the root hiding in the dark and Uchiha Shisui. That kid actually defeated the two tails. A root ninja looked at Manye in disbelief and said, "How could that boy have such strength? He is obviously just a chunin." "Impossible, absolutely impossible." Another root looked at Manye and denied it repeatedly. "Don't panic, everyone. I don't think this is caused by Uchiha Manye's strength," a tall and thin root member suddenly said. "How do you know?" Everyone asked in unison. "You should think that the two-tailed beast, the four-tailed beast, and the nine-tailed beast were all captured by Uchiha Manye's ancestors. They must have left some tricks behind so that their descendants could easily defeat these tailed beasts." Of course, I don't deny what Uchiha Manye said, but it is only enough to defeat a special jonin, a few chunins and genins. The tall and thin root told everyone his speculation one by one. "So that's how it is, no wonder Uchiha Manye was able to defeat the two-tailed beast." Everyone suddenly realized and said, "People are always willing to believe what they want to believe. Brothers, our chance to make a contribution has come. Just think about what Danzo will do to us if we hand over the two tails to him." The tall and thin man appealed to the others. After hearing this, they all showed joy on their faces. "But now he is in the hands of Uchiha Manye, how can we get the two-tailed beast?" A short and fat root member suddenly asked. Boom! An umbu standing next to him hit him on the head with his hand. "Idiot, have you forgotten our mission? Kill Uchiha Manye!" the root yelled. "That's right," the short and fat genbu also figured it out and said happily. "By the way, when we go over, we should first trick the two-tailed beast in Uchiha Manye's hand. If he kills the two-tailed beast, we will bring a dead two-tailed beast back, and the credit will not be so great. If he really doesn't give us the courage, we can be tough again." The tall and thin root said to everyone again. Several people thought about it for a moment. They all agreed with this method. Uchiha Shisui held a knife. His body kept flashing in the plane. Every time he flashed, he would move dozens of meters, and the frequency of flashing was very fast. Soon, Uchiha Shisui arrived at Manye's location. Uchiha Shisui saw Uchiha Manye carrying a person. His body flashed again and came in front of Uchiha Manye. "Who, Manye, are you okay?" Uchiha Shisui panted and asked Uchiha Manye worriedly. No matter how different his ideas were from Uchiha Manye was always a ninja of Konoha and a member of his clan, so after Uchiha Shisui found out that Uchiha Manye might be in danger, he kept using the instant body technique to rush here. "Oh, you actually showed up." Uchiha Manye was not surprised to see Uchiha Shisui in front of him. He said calmly, although he was disgusted by Uchiha Shisui's ideas, he had a good impression of Uchiha Shisui as a person. He would never stand idly by when he saw people from the same village in danger. It was also because of this that Uchiha Manye gave him many chances. Or in other words, that I didn't have the intention to kill Uchiha Shisui. "Manye, did you do all this by yourself?" Uchiha Shisui pointed to the corpse not far away and asked Manye in disbelief. "Well, I did it." Uchiha Manye nodded calmly. "You actually..." Before Uchiha Shisui could finish his words, he was interrupted by a sudden voice. "Uchiha Manye, hello, we are the Root Special Mobile Force." Chapter 30. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Uchiha Manye said nothing, but just looked at the six of them calmly. "Now the Root has issued an urgent order. Uchiha Manye asks you to hand over the two-tail to us for handling," the tall and thin root said to Uchiha Manye in a tough tone. "Ha!" Uchiha Manye sneered, so he wanted to steal the credit. "Uchiha Manye, please call out the two tails now, otherwise we will take compulsory measures." The tall and thin genbu saw that Uchiha Manye was slow to act. He said impatiently. "Want the two tails?" Uchiha Manye first said a few words to the six people, then he gently placed the scroll in his left hand on the ground. He also gently placed the two tails on his shoulder on the ground with a wooden figure. With a cold face, he said to the people in front of him. I dare to give, do you dare to take it? Seeing Uchiha Manye's actions, the people in the route could no longer sit still, they looked at the two-tailed Yukito with greed in their eyes, then the six of them looked at each other. Go. One person stared at Uchiha Manye to prevent him from taking action, the other 5 people all grabbed the two-tailed wooden man on the ground, 5 arms quickly reached out to the two-tailed wooden man on the ground. Seeing this, Uchiha Manye's face became even colder, his right hand gradually touched the knife handle at his waist. Not good. Uchiha Shisui saw Manye's action, he thought to himself that it was not good, he immediately reached out to pull out the long sword behind him. Just when the palms of the 5 people were about to touch the two-tailed wooden man. Swish, a silver blade flashed, 5 arms fell to the ground at the same time. Puff, a lot of blood flowed out from the broken arms of the 5 people. Seeing this, Uchiha Manye stretched out his left hand towards the two-tailed wooden man and scroll on the ground, the wooden man and the scroll flew towards Uchiha Manye from the ground. Just avoiding the gushing blood, Uchiha Manye resisted the two-tailed wooden man with one hand. Plop, the scroll fell on the empty ground. The 5 people suddenly screamed, they looked at their arms on the ground in disbelief. Uchiha Manye flashed and came in front of the 5 people in an instant, before they could react, he raised his long knife and slashed at their necks one by one. Bang, 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 5 heads fell to the ground at the same time. Poof. Countless blood gushed out from the broken necks of the 5 people, it seemed that a bloody rain formed on Uchiha Manye's head. Uchiha Manye's figure flashed and left the area covered by the bloody rain in an instant. Uchiha Manye, what are you doing? Uchiha Shisui asked angrily, when Uchiha Manye just cut off the arms of 5 Konoha ninjas. Uchiha Shisui was already stunned, he was still thinking about why Uchiha Manye did this. But he didn't expect that in a short moment he was thinking, Uchiha Manye actually killed all 5 people. Uchiha Manye just looked at Uchiha Shisui coldly. Then he turned and rushed towards the last Konoha ninja. Uchiha Shisui did not hesitate. Chasing Uchiha Manye. Plop, the last masked root saw Manye rushing towards him. He instantly bent his knees and knelt down towards Uchiha Manye. Don't kill me. I'm a ninja from Konoha. The root ninja's face suddenly changed and he yelled at Uchiha Manye. He never thought that Uchiha Manye would have such a terrifying strength. He killed his 5 companions in just a blink of an eye. His begging for mercy did not work at all. In an instant, Uchiha Manye's long sword had already swung towards his neck. Uchiha Shisui rushed up at the moment Manye swung his sword. He quickly swung the katana in his hand and swung it fiercely towards Uchiha Manye's long sword. Seeing this, Uchiha Manye did not change the movement of his hands at all. Armament hockey hardens. Uchiha Manye's long sword suddenly turned pitch black. Bang! Uchiha Shisui's sword that was swinging down broke instantly. Uchiha Manye's long sword did not feel the slightest pause, it cut across the neck of the root ninja kneeling on the ground. Uchiha Manye removed the armament hockey from the long sword, slowly put the long sword into the scabbard at his waist. The root ninja opened his eyes wide at this moment, his hands fell to the ground weakly, there seemed to be no wound on his body, but if you look closely at his neck, you will find a thin red line on his neck. Puff, a large amount of blood gushed out. Suddenly, his head flew into the sky. Uchiha Manye dodged the gushing blood and came to the two-tailed wooden man and the scroll. He first carried the two-tailed wooden man on his shoulders, then he sucked up the scroll with the Wanxiang Tianin. How is it possible that Uchiha Manye actually, so strong? Uchiha Shisui stared at the broken sword in his hand. He kept saying it, he couldn't believe that Uchiha Manye, who was ordinary in the family, actually had such a strong strength. Uchiha Manye, why did you kill these Konoha ninjas? Aren't you afraid that you will be charged with murdering your companions when you return? Uchiha Shisui came to his senses, he held the broken sword and walked up to Uchiha Manye with a sullen face and asked. I don't know what companions are. Are these people Konoha's ninjas? Uchiha Manye looked confused, he asked Uchiha Shisui despite knowing the answer. Aren't these people Konoha's ninjas? Uchiha Shisui pointed at the 6 headless corpses on the ground. He angrily asked Uchiha Manye. You said these people are Konoha's ninjas, then may I ask what evidence do they have to prove that they are Konoha's ninjas? Uchiha Manye snorted coldly, then he asked Uchiha Shisui in return. he knew that Uchiha Shisui could not produce any evidence, because when the root went out on a mission, they would not wear any items related to Konoha. You. After hearing Manye's words, he looked down at the 6 dead people. Uchiha Shisui suddenly choked again. Humph, if it weren't for the feelings of our kind and your desire to help me just now, you should have been the same as these people a long time ago. But did you say that I absolutely dare not kill you? Uchiha Manye said at the end. A mysterious light flashed in his eyes. His body was suddenly covered with a thick blue chakra. The vast and majestic momentum instantly pressed towards Uchiha Shisui.